All right, let me find my safety glasses, face shield. All right, we're getting close. All right, we're making a Christmas tree. We're gonna start out with the basic shape, then I'm gonna put it in the chuck and finish it. Pat's in. George, golfing librarian, thanks for coming in. Cameron, thanks for coming in. Jose. Chuck, I'm gonna put the chuck on. You can do it all between centers, but the chuck allows you to finish the top. And I got rough with the lathe tools. I'm not rough with them. I don't know what you mean. Alright, I am going to keep the live center on. Tell me what you mean by rough with the lathe tools. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Nothing smooth. Well, it's not finished. This is it's just kind of roughing it in. Now we finish it. So now it's going to be a little bit more exact. You always kind of like this is called a rough and gouge. It's just a rough in. Pretty thin. Wasn't really aiming to do that thin. No, not a top. Yeah, a lot more smooth. So the beginning is just rough cutting, taking off a lot of material fast. Then we kind of smooth it out. And this wood is fairly punky, so I'm going to have to really take my time to get it smooth. All right, that one pretty good. You can see how punky it is. It's very rough. The texture is pretty rough right now. So we'll do a little bit of sanding, but this one is probably not going to get much better than that. This is all sapwood on the outside, so it's softer. The heartwood is harder, but I didn't realize how much of the sapwood was in this one. So we'll see what we can do. We'll make it as good as we can. Yeah, definitely, George. You could paint them. I like to put some color on while it's on the lathe. We're gonna do that again. We did that last 2 days ago. I like to use colored pencils. Let's see. Yellow, some brown. So what I like to do, I got my colored pencil rack and markers and everything up there. And then I put them on while it's spinning. And then almost wipe them all off because I'll use an abrasive paste on it. Just leave that there. But I'll show you how I do it. So the ornament at the top, I'm going to put some yellow. And you could obviously do this afterwards. Like you don't have to paint it, color it on the lathe. But I think it's nice for the live stream. And then for the branches, I like to do some darker green for the underside. Give it kind of a shadow. And then I use the lighter green for the top. This is actually more of a blue-green. It just gives it a little bit of depth. All right, and then I'm going to use my abrasive paste. And kind of blend in those colors. I don't sell anything. I've only been doing this since 2020, and I don't think I'm my stuff is sellable. I don't know. I have a good job, and I don't want to do all the weekend selling stuff. I would love to. I'd love to do like make that my whole job. But I don't know. There's that fear of not being good enough, I guess. I do this mostly for fun. I don't know. That's a tough question. The problem is, I see what other people are doing on their lathes, and I'm like, dang, that's pretty good. But I don't have all day. Like, I work all day, so I do these live streams over my lunch break. So you get 20 minutes 3 or 4 times a week is all I can really commit. So, yeah, I hear you. You're probably right. For now, it's a good distressor. Someday I'll take that leap. I know Target has these trees similar to this. 2 of them for $40, and that blows me away. Like, I mean, you saw me make this. It's been 20 minutes, and I really have taken more time than I should have. Target makes them on a machine, or whoever makes them for Target. All right, I actually put my pencils back. I never do that. I'm gonna pull my sleeve up, cut this off. Ooh. Oh, just what I was afraid of. I dropped it and it knocked the ornament off. Now I gotta find it. Where'd it go? Where did it go? I want to glue that back on. There it is. Wow. Yeah, let's glue that back on. Sometimes what I'll do is actually I'll do the ornament on top separate. And actually drill a hole. I'll put a stem on it, drill a hole, and put it in. So if you do drop it, it like falls out instead of... falls out instead of breaking. This is my Satellite City CA glue. Well, this one is never going to sell. All right, we get it kind of straight. And then I take my accelerator spray. Nope. All right, I'm going to have to hold it. There you go. A little bit of color. I kind of like it. It's like a stain when you use the wax and kind of, you almost rub it, most of it off. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something better than that. There's the Christmas tree. Let's try one more time. One more time to glue this on. And then I think I have enough time to make another one. All right. Let's try this again. I need a new bottle of glue. That's what I need. Put that on. I'm going to hold it this time. There we go. All right, there you go. So I don't know about the ornaments, because if you put these in a box for next year, it's probably going to break that ornament off. So I like the idea of the ornaments separate with a stem and a drilled hole. I don't have enough time to do that today, but maybe tomorrow we can do that. Let's quickly do another one. Tiny dowel, yeah. All right, let's try it. Let's try to drill a hole. Do I have another piece of wood? Let me find another piece of wood. Be right back. All right, let's start again. This is going to be a harder piece of wood than that. I think that one was cherry. This looks like pear, the pear that I have. Now, I just use firewood, so I never know what I'm going to get. All right, we got to take the chuck back off. So this lathe is a Wen. It's It's gonna run you about $400, I think. It's not super expensive, but it's not the cheapest. I've been using this since April of 2020, and I've never even changed the belt. I've really done hardly any maintenance on it. It runs great. And I love wood turning. It's one of my favorite things to do. But yeah, 1,000 will get you a good one. I actually have two. I have two of the exact same lathe. This one, and then I have one over there that I turned outboard. All right, I'm gonna slow down a little bit. While I'm changing speeds, check out my G Fuel video that went up recently. G Fuel has a Freebie Friday setup where they do kind of free things on Fridays. Use my code Bailey2020. Just throwing that out there. All right. Could make a goblet out of that wood. Yep, could do that. Maybe tomorrow we'll make a goblet out of the other piece that I cut off. It's made. We'll do that. All right. For now, we're just going to get this round. All right. That's too wobbly. So I'm going to slow down again. All right, that's better. We'll do that. Actually, we'll vote. I'm just going to make this round, but if you'd rather see a goblet, put one. If you want to see another Christmas tree, put two. One for a goblet, two for a Christmas tree. This is going to be nice. I love this. It's pear. I know it's pear now. It's very hard, but it has really nice grain in it. All right, now we can speed up. Now that we're mostly round. Thanks for stopping in, Cameron. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for subscribing. There's Big Dog Woodworking. Thanks for stopping in. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, time to switch to the chuck. That's usually fish it out from underneath there so you can see it busted off where that point was. But I have my tenon for the chuck, so I'm gonna knock that out. Put the chuck back on. Yeah, the grain is amazing in this. I'm pretty sure, I don't know 100%, but I think it's, what'd I say, pear. I think it's pear. It's hard to tell though, you know, with, when you get a load of firewood, and I don't cut my own. I don't even have a wood burner anymore. So I've got about 1.5 cords of firewood that I use for wood turning. All right, and I did put some lines on it where I think I was going to do the branches, but I think there's too many. So I'm going to smooth it back off and do, I think 4 is good. We put in this one 5. I feel like that's a lot. Maybe 5 is right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one had 6. So let's smooth it back off. Got a chip there, but you know what? That's gonna make it more real. All right, let's clean that up. Yeah, that's gonna look pretty good. This one, we'll drill a hole in the end. Let me do that. We're getting up against it. I've got to get back from lunch pretty soon. So I'm not going to be able to do an ornament, but I don't know if you saw that. Probably not. I'm just holding a drill bit and some pliers. Drills it perfectly centered. Don't have to get out your Jacob's chuck. All right. Let's do a little bit of sanding. I would do more, but I am out of time. Put a little bit of polish on it, because why else do you do anything? I'm not even going to put color on this one because the wood is just pretty awesome. Now you got to be careful. If you do have notches like this, it doesn't feel good, but it's fixable. Just a little bit of finger trauma here and there. So this abrasive paste is beeswax, mineral oil, and diatomaceous earth for some abrasion. And that is it. It's totally food safe, dog safe, kid safe, all that stuff. Now, the one trade-off with drilling a hole and putting an ornament is you got this little thing hanging out there. So if a kid pulls it off and eats it, that's not good either. So I don't know what the best method is. They're spitting out of my hand today. Look at that grain. You can't beat that. That's amazing. All right, let's make a tiny little ornament for the top. I wasn't gonna do it, but now I feel like I have to. What can I use for that? Maybe I can use this. This is from a project I worked on, making a TV wall mount stand into a tabletop stand. That video is coming up soon. It's in editing. Don't need that anymore. That looks about right without getting out my calipers. Because I am running out of time. You know what? That's kind of big, but I already made this too small, so that's what it is. And we can make another one. That's the great thing about having it separate. Look at that. It's a little big, but there you go. The grain is just, the wood does it. Like my skills are nothing compared to the beauty of this wood. That's amazing. All right, that's gonna do it. I gotta get back to work. Thanks for watching. And you know, this is one of the things that about wood turning that really I absolutely love is you can take something that looks like this. It's rough, it's odd shaped. There's nothing pretty about that. It's dirt on it, wormholes, and you can make something like that. That's kind of what God does in our lives. Takes that roughness, the unkept, and he can make it smooth and new. And it's not comfortable. It's some sharp, rough tools that hurt, but you trim away all the stuff you don't need, and you're left with that beautiful grain. Love it. All right. You have purpose, you have value, and you are loved. God bless.